This is Candidate Conversations, and I'm your host, Jay Reinstein, on the WIDU Radio Network. Today I have with me Janene Ackles, running for House of Representatives in North Carolina, District 43. She's a Democrat. Welcome to Candidate Conversations, Janene.
Well, thank you for having me, and it is always a pleasure to be here, especially in your presence.
Oh, great. Well, we've met each other on numerous occasions. So for listeners who may not follow state politics closely at all, what does a North Carolina State House rep do that most directly will affect families in Cumberland County?
Well, I think a lot of people don't understand the roles of the legislative branch there. What we do is we make laws and enforce them, pretty much, is what happens. We use that to make sure that people can live their everyday lives and make sure things are happening in our communities. And we also work with our local elected politicians, such as the commissioners, as well as the commissioners and City Council. Sorry.
It's all right. That's all right. Public education is a big deal, and it's a big focus with our General Assembly. How should North Carolina fund public schools specifically? What changes would you support for Cumberland County schools specifically? Is there something that they're not doing that they should be doing? Talk about that if you can.
I'm so glad you asked me that, because that's one of my first priorities.
Oh, that's great. That's what we want to hear.
Yes, yes. Let me tell you, one of the first things I'm going to do is we've got to go in there and we have to reform this voucher bill.
Yeah.
The voucher bill right now, it doesn't have any checks and balances to it. Pretty much what is happening is that, you know, we have all this money going out, and of course last year they took the limits off as far as income, so anybody can have those vouchers.
Right.
I don't have a problem with people having a choice to what school they want to go to, but I don't think as the public we should have to pay for that when our children are still in public schools. I do realize they do have these vouchers for certain reasons, but one of the things is that if my child goes to school here, goes to some school, and something happens with that child, they can send that child back to the system, but that money does not go back to the system. It goes back into the pot to give someone else a scholarship.
Got it.
Those are not things that should be happening. Right now they have a lawsuit with EC students. A lot of that is because they don't have the funding. And ask me again where that funding is in that big voucher pool that they have. We need to do something with that. That is, you know, and even right now, not having a budget passed, that is killing us. Look at our teachers. They're not getting any raises. And needless to say, our healthcare workers, our police and people like that. So there are a lot of things that are affecting us right now. And those are things that we have to put our eye on, put our hand on, and make the changes as they come. But like I said, those vouchers, that's like one of my #1 things that I'm going to run about.
Got it. Interesting. Both of my daughters are school teachers, public school teachers. So pay is so important, and all of these things, you know, affected. Again, we're talking to Janene Ackles, running for House of Representatives, District 43, as a Democrat. If you could talk about what role do you think the state should play in creating jobs for Cumberland County? Anything you think that they should be doing to better support the county?
Well, one thing is that we have to, as a county body, period, our legislators, our city council, and our commissioners, we all need to work together, because one of the things that's not happening, we're not all on one accord, which means that when we are bringing in industry, people are not thinking about what this industry would bring. My problem is that we have to have, everyone needs to be at the table. I'm not saying that everyone's going to make the same decision, but everyone, that means your community, the people who are going to have to either work there or live there. So there are a lot of environmental things that we're thinking about that have happened where people didn't even have the chance to answer or even know before it just came. So one of the things is that we have to engage more with our communities and find out what they want versus what you want as a legislator, because we're working for you.
Right.
Y'all are not working for us.
Right. If we could switch gears a little bit, healthcare is mental health care services in North Carolina and really around the country is definitely a big concern, a big priority. Is there anything, if elected to the NC House, that you would do to maybe improve access for people, especially in underserved communities, to get the healthcare services they need?
Well, one of the things I would like to do is, right now we do have a shortage in the here, probably across the whole country, as far as healthcare workers. Yeah. But if we could do something about that, as far as there are people in rural areas, and I can speak for the rural areas that I will be representing, areas like Cedar Creek. It takes them 30 minutes to get to the hospital. If they're in critical condition, many times they may not make it. Right. We need to have more satellite offices in places where people can actually get to. Something, because people in Cedar Creek, they don't have public transportation. So they're just out of luck. So we need to look at the access, what we're giving to people, and how to get it to them. Not so much just, we have one hospital here and this is where you're going to go type thing. No, we need to have satellite offices. And I know that takes funding, of which we have none right now. But that would be something, that would be a solution that I would bring up maybe later once we are able to have some type of budget or funding toward it.
Great.
Or maybe even have even nonprofit arms to be able to receive monies to fund those types of ideas.
Yeah, I like that. Roads, transportation, infrastructure funding often come from Raleigh. Is there any big infrastructure needs that you would focus on if elected to the North Carolina House that would help Cumberland County, specifically infrastructure, could be roads, sidewalks? What would those needs entail?
Well, you're asking a person that lives on the east side.
Got it.
So there's a lot of issues on that side, and they've not been paid attention to. We look at Locks Creek that floods all the time when there's a heavy rain.
Yep.
People are still having issues from when we had Matthew years ago.
I was here.
Yes. We have houses that are being built on stilts back there, which means we don't need a house back there if that's what we're doing, because we're not at the beach. You know, we need, and my thing is that when these developers come in, I think that there's not enough accountability for what they're trying to do in a lot of areas. Yeah. Because you shouldn't be able to build in swampy areas. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be able to do those types of things. Flood zones, you know. But a lot of it has been political. People in certain positions are able to do things that the normal person cannot do and get away with. And this is why I always rally my community. And when we tell people what's going on, they show up. When we had issues last year, my community showed up. We all showed up in numbers. And so we will continue to do that. But we have to hold these developers and people accountable before they come out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. Talking to Janene Ackles, running for House District 43 as a Democrat, Cumberland County. A couple more questions. Raleigh is often criticized for being too partisan. I mean, you hear this in local and state and federal politics. Can you give an example of how you would work across party lines if elected to the House? Any example you could share?
Well, partisan politics happens, and this is what people don't understand. You know, when you go in the legislature and you open that big room, that's where all the partisan politics happen. Yeah. But when you leave out of that room, we're all people. Yeah. So we need to see we have to look at a bigger picture. It can't just always be Democrats against the Republicans. It needs to be what is best for the people, not something that's going to say, well, I'm going to boost my career or whatever. No, those aren't the things. I think you should always vote your conscience. I do believe in that, but I also believe you need to make sure if they sent me to Raleigh, then I need to represent the people that sent me, not what I want to do. So I would represent the people. Got it.
Finally, why should people vote for Janene Ackles, North Carolina House District 43, on March 3rd as the Democratic primary? Why should they vote for you?
Well, I'm deeply rooted in our community. I give back to my community. One of the things that I've done this past year, I've worked with probably 12 or so nonprofits at no charge, and they've received collectively probably over $200,000. So bringing in some funding to them to be able to do different programs, whether it's youth programs, camps, different conferences, even some recreation for underserved youth.
Right.
So I am in the community. And not only that, just knowing a lot of the laws that we have going on, not being afraid to advocate for those things. While I have not served in an elected capacity before, there are many things that I have to offer. And one of them is the compassion. One of them is the fact that you can reach me. You know, you can call me. I'm accessible. And I'm going to listen to you. Even if I don't agree with you, I do need to listen to hear what it is, because maybe there's something I'm missing.
Yeah.
So we need that. And I believe that right now, where we are in Raleigh, we need someone new in that seat, because we need a different type of state now. And there's so many things going on. And if you're just riding the tail on one party, then that's what shuts down the community. So that's why you should vote for me. I'm going to be new, fresh, listen to your ideas. I know a lot because I've worked with the state. I have worked with different municipalities. I've gotten them monies as well. So let's work together. Let's do this together. You know, my slogan is your rights, our fight. That's what it's going to be. We're going to be fighting for everything that you need.
Great. Janene Ackles, again, thank you for joining us today, running for North Carolina House, District 43, Democrat. Thanks for joining us today on Candidate Conversations.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I look forward to talking to you again after the primary.
Great. And you've been listening to Candidate Conversations on the WIDU Radio Network. Until next time, have yourself a great